ANWR can be explored in an environmentally sound manner. The roughly 2,000 acres or so that have been talked about in the past are so small an area compared to the vastness of Alaska. And for years we've been exploring on the North Slope. The caribou herds have been increasing. The people in the area have benefited from jobs as well as from the natural gas that's been produced in the area. And Alaskans live here, we want to do it right, and we have the ability to do that.
What do you think the impact will be if it's explored and oil begins producing in the ANWR area?
Well, clearly it produces jobs for our people, for Americans in general, and certainly for Alaskans. It provides revenues so that we can have the education, the public safety, the roads, the infrastructure that we need, and it can be that bridge to the cleaner fuels of the future.
What do you say in terms of, I know you talked about the environmental footprint now is so minimal.
Yeah.
Can you talk about, from what you've been briefed on, the technology, how it's advanced to make that footprint so small?
Well, I've seen it myself. You look to Prudhoe Bay, and that's that's an industrial complex of 35 years ago. Then you go to the west to Kuparuk, and that's smaller still. Then you go to the west to Alpine, and you see that with the directional drilling possibilities where they can drill down and then take 6, 7 more wells out from there, the footprint has been so reduced in the last 30 or 40 years that the surface impacts are minimal compared to what was done 30 and 40 years ago. So we have the ability to do it right. We've got the technology. We have the desire as a people to do it right, and it can be. Alaska is a treasure trove of natural resources. In fact, when we became a state 50 years ago, we promised that Alaska would contribute to this nation and that we would be self-sustaining through wise use of our resources. So what that looks like today is we've got oil that we can produce. We've got natural gas every day out of the ground in the North Slope. 6.5 billion cubic feet of gas come up with the oil, but we pump it back down into the reservoir to pressure the oil. That gas really just needs a garden hose hooked up to it, and then be transported to the rest of the United States so that the rest of the U.S. can benefit from that cheaper gas. And we still have more fields that can be explored for oil and gas across Alaska. So there's plenty of opportunity, plenty of energy available to help us bridge that increasing demand for fossil fuels for the next 20 years before we are able to affordably produce those renewables. All across America, families need a dependable, cheaper form of energy and sources of energy. The less natural gas available, the less oil available, the more expensive American homes' energy needs become. And so our hope is that Alaska can contribute to the nation these rich resources we have from ANWR, from a natural gas pipeline, from the Outer Continental Shelf. If we can produce more of that energy for America, I think we all win. Well, I think one of those unspoken often benefits of ANWR is that every state in this country can know the benefit of more jobs. In this economic downturn where we've got so many people out of work, ANWR can bring about, any exploration and opening of ANWR can bring about new jobs for all Americans. Same thing for natural gas pipelines, same thing with OCS development. It really is about jobs, and every American can share in that dream.